I am the big tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, hearts full of love, bigger than a tank?
Big tank.
He served in a few wars. He's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just give me good to the tank.
I am the tank. Big tank.
BigTank Talk.
Tank.
BigTank Talk.
Tank.
Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of BigTank Talk. Today we have a very special guest, special for me anyway. I want to introduce you all to CookieNotHate, joining us very early in an Australian Monday morning. Cookie, welcome to BigTank Talk.
Thanks, Tank.
I sure appreciate you taking the time. I know it's really early for you, but you're a fascinating guy, and I've been a big fan of your content for quite some time. So the first question is always the same. Tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be on Clapper.
So during COVID, I was stuck at home because I was on immune suppression therapy. So my immune system was very low, and I had to stay home unless I was going to the doctors or something. And towards the end of 12 months, I was getting cabin fever, and I was watching videos on Facebook, and there was one particular creator who I was watching, somebody from Arizona, and I realized she had a YouTube account, so I was watched all the YouTube videos over about 2 weeks, and then realised she was making videos on TikTok, so I started watching TikTok, and went from watching her stuff to watching everybody else's, and somebody who had, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 followers, I was watching her comedy stuff and realised that I could comment, so I commented on a couple and she replied to them. I thought, wow, this woman's got 3,000 followers, and she replied to my comment because I was so used to Sniper Wolf not replying to anything, literally would not reply to anyone's comments.
Right.
And this woman said, why don't you do TikTok videos? I'm going to watch me make an idiot of myself. So she conned me into recording a couple of jokes, which I did, and I did okay, and it snowballed from there. 2.5 months later, and 700 videos. I got sick of all the getting reported and trolls and everybody else on TikTok, and I'd been modding for a friend of mine in Dumfries in Scotland, and she said, I'm done with TikTok. I'm going to move us all over to this new app. So she, me, and 15 other mods moved to, or 14 other mods moved to Clapper. 3 weeks later, I was the only one still there. They'd all given up because they had to actually speak and couldn't just do voiceovers. And I loved it because I don't dance, or I can't lip sync to save myself. Couldn't carry a tune in a bucket even with a lid on it. So it was fine for me because I could just turn the microphone on, roll out of bed, turn the microphone on and speak. And 4 years later, I'm still here. Joined the same day as Steve, LUSC official, and Jugger. And yeah, all three of us are still here.
And I understand that you joined, like you and I joined days apart. Were you joined days after I started this account? I got to say that. I actually started in 2020 and that account got taken down. Remember back when about the time you joined, Clapper decided they wanted to be less political or have less political content. And they put out a notice to everybody to take, we were supposed to give an opportunity to take a bunch of videos down, and I did. but then Clapper took down 8 more and then took my account down the next day. So I restarted with this account on March 21st, 2021.
I think the same thing happened with Bethany Renee.
Yeah.
It was the very first video I watched.
Right on.
Her and her husband in that trailer that they travel around in. So,
yeah, I like that content. She does too. We have our first question from the people watching. Vito wants to know, what's your favorite thing about Australia?
Well, 2 things. One is Kaz, who just lives about 6 blocks from me, or 8 blocks from me, and her husband Steve, and the other is the koalas. Even though the koalas, 83% of them have chlamydia, and I have to double bag if I want to get too close to a koala.
Welcome in, friends. Obviously, we are interviewing CookieNotHate today. So, what is about something about Australia that those of us who don't live there should know?
Everybody drives on the left, and in McDonald's, when they make the soft cones, the soft serve cones,
Yeah.
you have to hold the cone in the swirls anti-clockwise onto the cone.
Really?
Yeah.
All righty.
And the toilet go down anti-clockwise as well.
Something I've heard, I know you've been asked about it before, but I got to ask again. Do you personally experience spider season there in Australia where you are?
My landlady and Kaz both try to find me unusual animals and insects and stuff, and I did see a redback spider. She called me outside, my landlady called me outside, and we filmed a redback spider, which is the extremely poisonous spider.
Oh my.
Very big, and it was quite an old one, so it was losing its red colour. So, and we had a snake as well, a tiger snake in the bathroom one night. She pushed it into the bathroom, shoved it in there, and watered me, and then we called the snake wrangler at 1 o'clock in the morning to come and get this damn snake.
So, as you know, I interviewed Aussie Kaz already. Can you tell us about your first meeting with Kaz?
First time I physically met her, I got flown in. It was a 25-hour flight from England to Australia via China, and I flew in, and then had to go through customs, and then she got it organised with me with a bus ticket to take me from the railway the airport to the railway station, and she met me at the railway station, and she was live with all the Aussies in the live, and I got to meet everybody, and then Kaz at the same time, I mean her physically, and everybody else on the live stream. And then about a week and a half later, she, me, her sister, Chris, Alex, Kevin Keller, and Cherie, who all live locally. We all caught the train into Melbourne and met up with Kimmy Shea, which was cool. She came over. She was over visiting somebody from Sydney, and we got to meet Kimmy, which was, that girl was so tall. I look up, she's like a foot taller than me.
Nice. Off the top of your head, how many Clapper creators would you say you've met, or do you have any clue?
Okay, so Kerry 2021 was in the next list for me. Tiki Queen Asia, Steve and his wife Kim. God. Also tall guy, joining this obsessed with his numbers. Rob.
Yeah.
Oh God, lots of British creators. As well as Kaz. Probably about 15, 20.
Nice.
Some of them are
So Chuzzlebug, who is my other half here in the house, she said that drinking out of a shoe truly a thing, or is it just done for shock value?
Drinking out of a what? A shoe?
A shoe.
I've never seen anyone do that.
I haven't either.
No, I've only ever seen it in movies. They do have a thing called a yard glass, which is a yard, as in measurement, long, skinny glass with a big bulb on the end of it. They fill it with beer, and you have to drink out of that on your 21st birthday. That's common in Australia and New Zealand.
Right on. I don't recall ever coming up in conversation. Are you married, or do you have kids, or are you just a confirmed bachelor?
I'm happily separated. Separated by 12,000 miles, and that's still too close as far as I'm concerned.
I got to tell you, Cookie, I'm happily divorced, so I do understand that. Although my ex lives 2 hours away and not 12,000 miles away. But I might as well be 12,000 miles because she has no idea where I am, which is a good thing.
Good.
Now, one thing I've noticed in going through a lot of your content, you have a lot of...
Oh, apparently I gave her the shout out.
First question is, where do you find all the stuff that you... all the jokes and the funny things that you put in your content?
Okay, originally, this is when I started on TikTok. I used to work in the supermarket, and I was always telling jokes to entertain my customers while I was scanning their items. And then people used to come and tell me jokes as well, so I used to keep note of my favourite of the jokes. And I used to do joke of the week on a Friday, so everyone would come into the shop and get comfortable at checkout, ignoring other checkout operators, come to hear my joke of the week. And I just used to start posting jokes on TikTok again over here. But lately I've been using a thing called upjoke.com.
Okay.
Where it's broken out into things you can search a particular subject, and it'll give you a ton of jokes on that subject. And I used to do pick a theme for the week, whether it was G-strings or whether it was nipple clamps or whether it was, I don't know, music or something. So my favourite of these was when I did music. And can I tell a quick joke?
Sure.
Okay, this one came from Lulu, our good friend Lulu. He's married to Sandman now. So a guy walks into a music store back in the old days when they had CDs, and the guy behind the counter is putting CDs on the racks. And he goes, "Put it with you in a second." And he goes, "Sure." He goes, "Well, how can I help?" And he goes, "I'm after the greatest album of the best ever Canadian progressive rock band." And the guy goes, "I'll just finish doing what I'm doing and then I'll be able to help." And he goes, "No rush." And he goes, "Well, I can't help you then."
I like that. Now, there is a specific video, and I think it's from 2022, but it was way back in your content. But I have to ask about it. You did a video that featured you, Yeti in the Mist, Kiki, which is Queen Asia for those of you that are not familiar with her, Tony K, 1971, and Steve, a UFC official, called Girls on Film. Whose idea was that? How did that come about?
Okay, that was mine. That was Lulu who was doing her makeup live one day, and we were chatting, and I said, "I'd love to do another like a collaboration video." And she goes, "Why don't you do music and get guys dressed up in drag?" And that's how that came about. So that was Steve had an old video of him dressed up like Ursula from some mermaid movie. And then we got a few others. There's got Tony K. He looked absolutely stunning in that dress, that was his maiden dress. Yeah, that was, and then Yeti got involved as well. And then we did a follow-up one with the ladies dressed as guys. With Gina and I think Faith, Boss Lady, and quite a few others. And that was, man, I feel like a woman with the ladies dressed as guys. That was so funny.
Yeah, obviously it's hard to catch all of them because you've got a lot of videos on here. Papa Joe, Reverend Papa Joe in Texas says Cookie and Jerry doing the time warp hooked him. So,
Yeah.
obviously another good video on that.
When I used to do 24-hour lives, we pick up a theme for like men's mental health or whatever it was. And, Nicky got involved in that, and then Kerry and I did the time walk at the end of it. It was always traditional on TikTok to do the time walk dance at the end of the 24 hour live. So Kerry had come over from her village, which was just 5 miles away, and we did the time walk at like midnight. And my ex-wife came downstairs like, and we were both dressed in tutus.
Yeah, Papa Joe, I went back into 2021 in Cookie's content, but he has over 3,000 videos. Kind of hard to catch them all. I tried to catch what I could and get questions out of it. Knowing that a lot of your content has the intent of making people laugh, I have to ask you about my favorite funny Australian not named CookieNotHate, and ask you, are you a fan of Kevin Bloody Wilson?
Yeah, absolutely love Kevin Wilson. So funny. That particular song it is.
Yeah.
And he did a little skit about what was it? It was about Harold, who was a Hudson spider, big area spider. It was in the outhouse in the like long drop type country toilet. And you used to hang out and you'd scare the crap out of. It was people used to go visit Harold if they were constipated because he could literally scare the shit out of people. He did this whole 5-minute ramble about Harold the Hudson spider.
I think my favorite thing that he did was a song he said. Said you can't say cunt in Canada. That was on.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his and a lot of the stuff he does. You don't have to be Australian to appreciate his humor. He's a really funny guy, and I really do. So I had to ask. Being Australian, I had to ask you that.
Yeah. I'm not actually Australian.
Well, I know you were in England before you came to Australia, right?
Yeah, but I'm actually Kiwi. I moved
So New Zealand?
And then moved 18 or 20 years later to Australia because Kaz
Right on.
here. Yep.
Well, I did know you were I knew you were originally from New Zealand, but I was pretty sure you came to Australia from England. That's why I said ask it that way. You also did a series at least back in 2020. I think you started it in 2022 because I saw the first one in the series called the Believe in Yourself series. I was wondering how long that series went and what inspired it.
So at the supermarket I worked in, somebody had come through with a magazine. It was like a mental health magazine, and attached to it was a series of poems, which I think I've still got. Hang on, give me 1 second.
No problem. Oh, it's okay. Dirty Carpenter's wife, Dirty's Midget, is screen recording for me today. But you're welcome to stay and help ask questions of Cookie if you like. All right, there you go.
There was a whole box of these cards, and each one with a little affirmation on it. So I used to read one every day, and I did a whole series. I might redo it actually. But yeah, that's how that came about. It was just
I watched several of those videos. I that would be a wonderful thing to start again. I know mental health is a big thing for you. think if you started that up again, I would definitely be a fan of it. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people in here that would appreciate it as well.
Can you grab my jerky, please? Can you grab me my jerky, please?
I do 3 videos a day. What I want to do is 1 comedy video, 1 video on relationships, and 1 of my humdrum meditation videos as well. So meditation videos as well. That way people can.
Oh, you like monster cheese?
Something through the video.
Right.
Not bad, brother.
Just for a few seconds, just rather than see my goals in that video. Even if only 1 person watches it, they make their day a little bit brighter. It's just a good.
And I got to tell you, you are one of the creators on here when I'm having a tough time or a bad day. I will go look for your content, whether it's new or not, because so much of your stuff is just to make people laugh and smile, and it helps when I'm having a bad day to go look at your content. Some of the stuff I just smile, but some of the stuff you put out there makes me actually laugh. Really good stuff.
Also, when there always says cunt, right?
Another something specific that I got from one of your videos. I saw your video about your bagel cat doing breath check for you.
Oh, God.
Do you still have that cat?
No, it was my ex-wife's cat, but the cat spent most of the time with me. In winter, she'd sleep on the pillow, the head wrapped around, so, back legs here and front legs there, and she'd keep you warm, and if she was bored, she'd just flick me with her tail and wake me up and then check my breath, because cats, they check each other's breath to see if they're healthy. It's like picking a pulse or something for a cat.
The thought that crossed my mind when I watched that video is animals are really intuitive, and are really good at if you're, if you're having pain or like there are dogs that can tell when a diabetic's blood sugar is out of whack.
Yep.
So I was, I watched that. At first it was a cute video, but checking your breath was not something that surprised me because cats are very intuitive animals as well.
Yeah. She was a lovely cat. And a little funny story about her and Lulu. So Lulu and I would do like either comedy videos or comedy lives, or we were doing like general knowledge quizzes. And the cat used to come up, rub up against my face, turn around and lift up her tail and expose her butt. Her butt hole to the camera, and I go, here comes the cat with the chocolate starfish. And Lulu didn't understand what chocolate starfish was.
That's pretty good too.
So somebody explained in the comments, and they didn't.
It goes better with the eyes.
Laughing.
I'm pretty sure Vito knows what a chocolate starfish is.
Oh, yeah.
Did you say starfish?
I want to ask you a few Clapper specific questions because part of the reason I do these interviews and the reason I interview, the majority of people I interview are Clapper OGs, well established. A lot of them have blue check. So if you don't mind, I'll ask you a few. First question is, which of the Clapper glitches is most frustrating for you? Because you've been around a long time, you've seen a lot of them.
Okay, I used to, back in the early days, there were 2 things I used to do. One was, I used to try and collect and experience all the tablets that I get glitches after an update, because they'd always get new glitches. And the one I hated, the OG one that I hated, which is still around, was it would unfollow you and block, unfollow. So this happened with me and Sherry, Redhead and Google.
Right.
We were following each other in friends, and it unfollowed her and
You took the
blocked
fatty
her.
piece.
She unfollowed and blocked me, and I thought, what the hell? I didn't do anything. I was talking to her in Hollywood on Payne's Live, and said, I don't believe you're racist, but how come you blocked me? Did I do something that upset you? And she goes, I didn't intend that to happen. It is a glitch. And I didn't know about this glitch because I was worried that I'd upset her about something. And it turned out that was an old glitch that had been around for a year at that stage. And she unblocked me, refollowed me, and I could follow her back again. And that still happens, so that happens every now and then.
It's happened to me a few times, most notably with Simply Nay. She and I were friends for quite a while. I was in her group and she was in mine. And I had gone to go comment on one of her videos, and instead of seeing her video, I got the message that said this user blocked you. So I reached out to Mando and asked her to ask May if she really did block me or if it was the Clapper glitch. Because if she block anybody that blocks me, I'll respect their decision, and that'll be the end of it. But in Nay's, in typical Nay style, she's like, I most certainly did not block Hank. So she had to unblock me, refollow. I've refollowed in the whole 9 yards. That's the one that frustrates me the most because it'll come out of nowhere, and sometimes you don't know it right away either.
I don't blame you, Nisi, for blocking his ass and his chocolate carpet. The one that has upset me lately is when you go to your notifications section, which is the second one from the right, which is your groups. At the top has got your friends that are live, but it doesn't show all of them. And the only way I can find everybody is to scroll through lives. Now, I've seen a friend of mine who made a decision, and it was perfectly fine that if people just scrolled through and didn't stop and say hi, he would block them for 24 hours. Or keep them out of the live, but block them for 24 hours.
Right.
Entering his life at 24 hours, which was fair enough. I don't blame him, because people just doing drive-bys. The only reason I do drive-bys is because I'm trying to find a friend's live, and unless I search for them on the Discover page, the only way to do that is to scroll, because it'll only show 5 people as being live, whereas I'll have 20 friends that are live. So that one annoys me, because the only way to do that is keep scrolling, and it may take me 3 goes around to get to see everybody's live, and that's annoying. Yeah, it's crazy. And I've talked to Clapper about it, and it used to be in the old days that I could message, what was the name of the one with the green hair? The Spanish girl?
I never, Beta. Papa Joe's was Beta.
Yeah, Beta. I used to be able to message her when she ran one of the Clapper accounts, and she'd reply. Whereas nowadays I'll get ignored and they won't bother replying. Plus, there isn't any town halls where you can ask questions, like those weird people town halls where they
Takes 2 seconds to say hi, Cookie.
at least hear what you had to say, whereas you do it in town hall and you get ignored. Yeah.
I don't get responses much whenever I contact Clapper about whether it's about glitches or whether it's about things that I see that I consider to be wrong, like taking this old man to blue check. That's what I've been on Clapper about a lot lately. How active are you when there's the Clapper organized events like the Mad Hatter Challenge? Do you normally participate in that kind of stuff?
I used to. The last event I participated in was Clapper Pride. They did like a parade where the creators were supposed to be live for 3 hours, and they'd invite friends.
In a little bit. I'm recording for Tank, so I don't really want to go and stop recording.
Streamers and everything else, and I was live, made sure I was live for 3 hours.
No.
And Clapper didn't even bother turning up for the event. It was a Clapper organised event, and not one Clapper official account bothered to turn up.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Oh, actually, I did one after that with, what's her name? LD Swish. that was the last Oktoberfest, probably a couple of years ago. I was actually part of the event. I was in the previous year doing the beer sign challenge, but LD was doing the beer sign challenge, and her barmaid didn't turn up, so I threw a tutu on in a week, and my tiara, and got up and danced for her to help entertain her. I became her official beer maid. And then Timmy and Steve were supposed to do it the following year, and they didn't even bother. We were all going to apply to be the beer maids, and we were going to get the official beer maid outfits, which I thought was kind of cute. And they didn't bother doing it the following year, which was kind of annoying, because I wanted to see Timmy in a beer maid outfit. Uncle Timmy.
Okay. Let me ask you, who, if anyone, on Clapper inspires you?
Red. Terry 2021.
Yeah.
Because she's been here, and with all the stuff she's going through in personal life, she still gets up and does crap up at the end and does crap stuff. She's not always active as much because of the things going on. And apparently there's like a whole outside world. That's not a thing we didn't know about. And with her family and stuff, but she still turns up and says, if I need help, Kerry is there. I mean, she used to take days off work if I had to go to the city to go to the hospital for an appointment. She'd take time off to take me down into the city. She's an amazing lady.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite people that I've met on Clapper in the years that I've been here. Incidentally, Papa Joe says no one ever asked him to put on lederhosen. Just saying.
Yeah, I understand perfectly that being. Actually, I invited because Kerry didn't have a date to have a prom, and she did a video about going. Nobody's invited me, so I did this whole thing where I got dressed up and proposed and asked her to go to the prom with me, and we had a blast. We had so many people there, but we had like the boxes were full. With people doing it, like Effie actually, I love Effie and Dawn. They
Camden,
Thank you, Elizabeth.
can you please bring me some tea?
I didn't have room for my big ring light, which could take 3 phones and
Are you playing Diablo?
did all this stuff.
Nope.
And
Yes,
it was
she
like,
is.
so I
And this
took
one
her
I have
to
no
the
idea.
place,
I think that is
and
a
she tried to
Oh, you got the new character? Third one?
Yeah, I just got it. Trying it out.
Yay!
You want help? Let me know.
So,
Help.
Okay.
I'm squishy as fuck.
Okay, hold on. I'll be right
it's
in.
not something people see a lot on here. When is Cookie Not Hate actually serious?
About once every 6 months I do a rant video about
Blue
something.
or glass? Or blue or
So I don't like
Regular
that
glass cup.
because of
Regular glass
what
cup
happened
is
in New
fine.
Zealand about 3 years ago. Right wing. No, he wasn't right wing, he was just a neo-Nazi idiot
No.
from Australia. Got hold of some guns and went in and shot up 2 mosques in Christchurch, which was where I lived in New Zealand. And I knew the imam of the city mosque, and a lovely guy, absolute gentleman, and so lovely family. And so I don't cope with, if I see a gun, I don't cope with it anyway. I popped into a friend's live and he was waving a pistol around and aimed it at the camera, and I absolutely freaked out. Went, sorry, I'm gone. I'll catch you guys later. I don't deal with guns very well. And he blocked me.
Would you like
I've
to
been
show?
supporting his content, and I did a rant video about understand you're perfectly entitled to, you know, your views, and I understand that I just choose not to associate with legit content, but I can't even watch it on the equal because I will use because I had an opposing view on one particular subject. Don't understand that, you know. I mean, I've got friends who used to do
Sneezy dwarf is mom.
and they did videos,
Like the way I live rent-free in this Nintendo.
and
Right.
I just used to buy. I just scroll past. If I don't like something, I scroll past it.
Right.
And he
People need to understand. People need to understand we can have differences of opinion on things that we believe and still be friends. You know,
He is
that's one
still
thing about
salty
people
about it.
that's been much more prevalent these days than when I was younger. You can have a difference of opinion with somebody now without becoming a huge thing, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of my best friends on here is Beth Renee. Her and my politics are complete exact opposites, but we're still good friends. And she sends me little videos on where she is or what she's doing, like Havisham or wherever she is, you know, the London Bridge, they got moved there. And she sent me a little video of that. Used to send me postcards all the time for wherever she was. And we just don't talk about politics, and that's fine. I mean, you can still like somebody and you don't have to get on. So, one thing out of 100 you don't get on with, you just ignore that. Get on with the rest of your, you know, your friendship.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I know Bethany. I think she's an amazing person, and so are you. And you are the. I mean, like you said, you don't have to agree, and you know,
Nana is in the game.
you don't have to agree on anything really to be a friend with somebody. Just respect their right to have a different opinion, and that's not so hard to do to me. But it sure seems to be hard for most people nowadays.
Yeah, it's just kind of strange.
That's funny, Dirty. It just happens. My job took me below deck, so it's what it is. Let me ask you this: who outside of Clapper inspires you?
Steve, Kaz's husband, because he's been through so much shit with his health and everything else. Yeah, if I need help, I can go around and Steve will be there, give me a hand, hold something while I beat the hell out of it with a hammer or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know from conversations. Are you having a lot of physical health issues? I know, like everybody else, you have your mental health issues. We all do.
Yeah. So I work at I can't say the name, but a well-known internationally branded franchise fast food restaurant.
Gotcha.
Yep. Not saying any names. Yep. Anyway, I slipped over at work about 3 months ago.
Yeah, I gotta go back to the
patch
town.
of oil on the floor.
No,
Did an extremely involuntary set of splits. And
never bread.
despite Kaz's assurance that I did not smack my balls on the ground. Anyway, I ended up hurting my back and my hip. And then I was starting to recover from that, got off the crutches, and then that was my left leg, and my right leg went out from underneath me. My hamstring tore, and I'm still recovering from that. I just re-tore it yesterday, which is why I'm laying down on the bed and not sitting in a chair. So
I understand that.
yesterday.
My back is why I haven't worked since I was 39, Cookie. So I understand certainly about back pain. You mentioned it earlier. First, can you explain to everybody what a tongue drum is? And then when did you start playing that?
Okay, a tongue drum is kind of like, I'll show you. I'll grab it. So it's a steel drum, but rather than just being solid, like a pan drum, which has patches of different sizes creating different tones. This has cutouts. So each cutout is a different size to create a different tone. So I was actually wanting to get a pan drum, but I didn't have $300 to throw it. I got this for, I don't know, it was about 70 Australian dollars.
Right.
And what I do is I've got some meditation music that I listen to, which helps me chill out, and I'll just play along with it, and I just record it. Each different song to about a minute and a half of each song, and I've been uploading one of those a day for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So,
Yeah, I've been watching them. I like that. I appreciate it. It's a difficult thing to learn to play.
yeah, I don't actually know anything about music whatsoever, so I just play the beat along with not so much the music, but what the person's singing. So if they go da 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 da, then I just go pop 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 pop. It just, I don't know anything about
Oh, she
the
can't
different
play with me
tones.
because I'm
I
this
just
character.
play along. Yeah, there are.
Opposite. Center of the notes printed on it.
Yep. So, hang on. That's one minor.
That doesn't make any sense.
And then there's one major. And I have this. I got from Each Talks. It's supposed to be the tampons, but I use it to keep the mallets, and
Right.
also little it's like a little ring that's got a lump on it.
So you wear it on your finger and just use your fingertips?
Yeah.
Right on.
So it's got 4 of those. So, like I said, I know nothing about music. Don't know anything about playing this thing. It just helps me chill out. If I'm having a very stressed day, this helps me chill out.
Which makes it worth doing. If it helps you to chill. And like I said, I watch those videos when you put them out.
Yeah.
I like the videos quite a lot, actually.
I'm going to branch out more from the mantra and meditation stuff to someone suggested Phil Collins. Something about I can't remember what the song was. Somebody suggested the other day in one of the videos. I might try that when I want to do Bob Marley's Redemption song, which I absolutely love. That's probably my favourite song in the world.
Right.
So I might try playing a little of that. I'm not trying to get the sound right. The sounding was right, so you can hear the song as well as me. Just takes a bit of experimenting.
Okay. Let me ask you another Australia-specific question. What are some foods that are native to Australia that, like, say, me in the States, are probably not familiar with that you really enjoy?
Okay. So shrimp on a barbie is not a thing. I will say that. Everyone talks about throwing another shrimp on the barbie. That's not actually a thing. Mussels in their shells, they throw them on the barbecue with lemon salt in the salt water, and they need to pop over when they're steamed. That's quite popular. Beetroot, you know, as in the red beet, pickled slices is very popular in hamburgers. In fact, if you don't put beetroot in hamburgers, like you try and bake it, yeah, probably it's not made properly. Vegemite is very popular, although
What is it?
God, Vegemite. Okay, so there's a thing called brewer's yeast, which is a dried yeast, sort of little dried yeast strips, and it's made
Right.
into Vegemite, which is like a black paste. Awful Farms once had some Steve Irwin condimented trying it, and he thought you were supposed to slap it on thick and slap quarter an inch of it on toast and toast because it is rather strong. So normally it's a very thin layer on and it's got a very salty, very strong flavour. It's kind of like one of those little funny fish that they put on pizza. Can't remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
Anchovy. Anchovies.
Yeah, like anchovy. You don't need much anchovy to flavour a whole pizza, right? It's the same thing with Vegemite.
Right. So, Joe the Bug asked, do you have a preference between Vegemite and Marmite?
Okay, so Vegemite is made from Vegemite is made from beef extract. And Marmite is made from brewer's yeast. So one's vegetarian and the other one isn't. I grew up on Marmite, but I do prefer Vegemite now.
Paul says both of them need to go in the bin.
So there's other companies that make this stuff. There was an Aussie company, some farmers got together and produced an organic version, which was like really expensive, like about 3 times more expensive. So instead of about, Paul will understand, instead of about £3, it was about £9 in the supermarkets. It was like really, really expensive for a
Wow.
little town. And to be honest, it tastes worse than Vegemite, which is an extremely acquired taste at the best of times. You can get stuff like Hoo-Hoo Grubs.
Good question, Paul. He wants to know what influenced your name on Clapper.
So when I came over from TikTok, I was called Love Not Hate, but I was always called Cookie back in the old days of Yahoo chat rooms and MSN chat rooms. So I was always Cookie because I used to cook for a living. So I was always called Cookie, so I changed it from Love Not Hate to Cookie Not Hate. I think after the first 3 months you can change your name, and I've never changed it. Everyone just calls me Cookie. It's kind of weird going into a live and with people I don't know, and then someone goes, oh, Cookie, hi Cookie, and everyone's like, oh, hey. And I'm like, oh my god, embarrassing.
All right, a 2-part question here, Cookie. First part, what is your favorite thing about Clapper? And then the second part is, what is the thing you hate the most about Clapper?
My favourite thing is the people, because it's a community. What I didn't like about TikTok was people just in it for themselves. They'd be fighting against one another for views or for people to be in their live streams. Yeah, it's different. You encourage each other and inspire each other to do more or be better at what you're doing. And somebody, do you remember Kaz's series on young creators on Clapper? She did a whole series of live streams where she interviewed new creators, and someone asked how to get more views or how to get more followers or whatever, how to grow on Clapper. And I said, just be you.
Right.
Do what is. It's like I like humour, and what I do is it's like standing around the water cooler at the office and telling jokes. You share what you enjoy, and that's the same with Clapper. You just, whatever it is you're passionate about, share it. Whether it's tree hugging, or whether it's diamond art, or whether it's telling jokes, or whether it's showing videos of your cats with voiceovers, like Gangster Cats.
Right.
Whatever it is that you enjoy, you can create videos get views, and you won't get views because you're not actually inspired, or you're not actually sharing what you enjoy the most. If you share what you're passionate about, your tribe, your people will find you. It may take 6 months, it may take 3 weeks, it may take 5 years, but you'll.
And I think that's where TikTok doesn't get Cookie Clapper, and whatever it is that you really truly enjoy, there's a community for it here on Clapper. So you can find that and you know, be among. But TikTok doesn't seem to get it, and that's one of the reasons that so many people, a lot of people that like me, I came from TikTok. I was on TikTok for 2 years before I came to Clapper. I maintain an account on TikTok, but I spend my time on Clapper. Peterbilt 1975, who is my friend Danny, says, "What inspires you?"
The support. The support from other people. If I'm having a crappy day, I can go into a live and chat with friends, and they'll take my mind off it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Helping other people. I'll have shitty days where I'm just not feeling
Why'd you let go?
like I'm of any help to somebody, and I'll just pop into a live and ask, I don't know, they'll be having a discussion about something. What's his name? The guy with the beard? Matt, Life of Liberty.
Like Liberty.
They'll be having a discussion about politics, which they normally do, and I'll pop in and go, I've got a question, and he'll be smiling before I've even asked the question, and I go, does anybody know where I can get a patch for my blow-up unicorn sex doll? And they'll just lose it.
Yeah, that's one thing I do love about you, Cookie, is your sense of humor. That's why, no matter what live I'm in, when you come in, it always makes me smile, because I know no matter what you say, it's more than likely going to be something funny. I like that. I really like that a lot.
I do this at work if I'm serving customers on the front counter. I'll just start talking about it. Won't be anything I'll just ask them how their day's going. Treat them as people, not as a revenue source. Treat people with respect. Even if you've got exact opposite views, there is a common ground. If 1% of the things you don't get on with, that's fine. Ignore it and talk about the 99% that you've got in common. You human beings, you breathe, you bleed, your feelings get hurt, which is why I don't like going to the most where people are yelling at each other. They're not listening, they're just yelling.
Right.
And
people need to understand that we have more in common than we have differences. And you don't have to focus on the differences. Focus on what we have in common, and the conversation is going to be much more enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go to visit. I've got a friend from, I think she's from California, Lori. She talks about politics all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, Lori's a friend of mine too.
Because she doesn't have.
Yeah. And
Google
we
Play.
always find something to talk about, whether it's her cats or where does she get a new hat from or whatever. There's stuff you can talk to everybody about.
Hey, Papa Joe said he has a question. He wants to know why your hot dog is bigger than his. And don't say genetics.
Okay. So what happened was, there's a little story behind this. Mando used to do Saturday Night Lives, where it was Cards Against Humanity or something. Anyway, I won it one week, and she sends me a body pillow in the shape
Of a hot dog. Right on.
Okay, so this is for Papa Joe. I just hope I don't get myself to it.
There you go, Papa Joe. Now Vito wants it. Vito's going to want one of those pillows. Watch.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to ask Mando where she got it from. I actually took all the stuff out of it, washed it, and folded it up small, and packed it in my bag, and brought it to Australia with me.
That's awesome, Cookie. If I could, before I get to Paul's question, I want to announce that next week, my interview guest is Dogface Pearl. She does, her content's original. She's really, really good. She's pretty funny, and she's a wonderful person to know as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, Cookie, Paul says, explain the story behind Val getting involved in the hot dog eating. And by Val, I'm sure he means gangster grin.
Yeah, okay, so I didn't know I had no gag reflex. I only discovered it after there was a guy on TikTok with a whole lot of face piercings who deep throated a hot dog or a banana. Anyway, Val was doing the video of her swallowing a hot dog just down her throat and back out again. I found a 14.5-inch hot dog and went, and then she did one with her, she put the hot dog inside the bun and then it's the hot dog in the bun. So I had to up one game, took the 14.5-inch hot dog, put it inside the brioche bun and went, and managed to get the hot dog and the bun down my throat. I nearly choked.
Wow.
It sounds hard to do, but it wasn't, because a brioche bun is very soft. And you just squeeze it and squeeze it down to almost nothing, so it's only slightly bigger than the hot dog. So, Papa Joe also did it, and Mando and I had a hot dog. It's part of we were a half-month girl here in my life. And you couldn't believe the fact that I was really confident in my first trip. You just look it up with mayo. Rather than hearing, it was the opposite of.
Now, this is maybe a trite question to ask, but it's one I do ask quite often. What would you advise to new creators coming into Clapper if they ask you for advice? Okay. Well, I think he's getting rid of the buzzing. He'll be right back up. All right, here he comes, y'all.
Yeah. Sorry, my headphones crapped out.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I was asking you if you,
Mama, then ask question.
what advice would you
What
offer to
level
new
are
creators
you
coming
from?
into Clapper?
And what town are you in?
Just be you.
Right now I am in Gakul.
Like chatting with.
Gakul.
The audience and chat with them. Follow them.
And what level?
Follow their content.
I'm in normal.
Watch their content. If it's something you really like, share it with other people. Join groups with people that are actually having conversations rather than just dumping content in groups, because not that many people watch it.
All right. Dirty Carpenter gets the final question. Have you had a Clapper crush?
2. Through 2021 and Theo's ass. And Niecy, because she's just adorable. Niecy's just such a sweetie.
Okay, it's been an hour already, brother. I know it's really early for you, but I really, really appreciate you being here today. I have enjoyed this quite a bit. Hopefully you can take a nap or something or catch up on rest. I don't know if you're normally up so early. But I very much appreciate you, brother. I want to thank, go ahead.
Box office, I used to cook for a living. It was my old sign on Yahoo chat, MSN chat. So
It's okay, Paul. Life happens, and we had it covered, so you're good. Before I end, though, I wanted to give you this one opportunity to do a shout-out, Cookie. It can be for a person. It can be for whatever you want it to be. But that's something I've started adding at the end of my interviews.
If everyone can go visit, I don't know what her name is these days, Shell, Prince Fan for Life. She needs our love and support, and if you can go, just go show some love on a couple of her videos. It's not so much reviews, it's that people, she understands that people love and support her.
Can you go to the portal?
If they can, I'd really appreciate
Mom,
it.
you know the portal in Gecko? Can you go there?
Wow. Dirty's midget said she deleted her account.
Oh, is she?
Because Nana's gonna meet you there.
Well, I appreciate you very much, Cookie. I also want to thank Dirty's
Meet her
midget
where?
for doing the screen
Meet
recording.
you at the Gecko waypoint.
And Paul, it's absolutely not a
Okay,
problem,
tell her right
brother. Things happen. I appreciate you coming and staying anyway. And guys, if you haven't seen CookieNotHate content, seriously, take some time, go and just browse through its videos. I guarantee you'll be chuckling and laughing through. And there are some
This
pretty
I
good
didn't talk to him a
serious
whole lot.
videos in there, some meditation with the tongue drum.
You there?
That he posts a lot of those recently, and a lot of positive mental health stuff as well. Cookie, thank you again for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for coming and chatting with us. I thought we were going to be in this on our own, to be honest.
You can't see yours.
I think it's because she doesn't have PlayStation
Sure.
Plus.
My interviews are always interactive,
And you do?
and I'm really thankful for the people that come to the interviews because they contribute some really excellent questions that help make it easy for me. So I don't, I came with a lot of questions to start with, a page full, but it's my friends that come watch the interviews and contribute questions that make it flow so easily for me. So I appreciate everybody is here. I'll see you guys around Clapper. And don't forget, Cookie is also he's a part of the Love Train. Follow the Love Train. It's just a kind of a guide to positive creators on here to join their live streams. Y'all have a wonderful day. Cookie, take care, and thank you again.
Thank you, everybody. Much love. I'm going to jump there now. And go finish last night's sleep.